Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today I'm going to share a cool tool that I've used for so many years that has actually helped me a lot that I didn't even realize and I kind of take for granted sometimes. So today I'm going to share with you. I was actually reminded the other night, I went to go check on my daughter, my oldest, before bed to kind of make sure, it's lights out time. And, they go, Mom, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure. Waiting for who knows what's going to come up because we have the most fun, fascinating conversations, especially at nighttime. And it was, do you have a diary? And so it was this really beautiful moment where I got to explain, how I actually had a diary from probably 8 or 9, maybe definitely by 10. And I didn't know it then, but I think it got me through my teenage years. And I got to share a little bit. I go, yes, I call mine a journal now. And then, we got on the conversation of why it's called a diary and all these other things. But I got to share those moments and then really actually get excited because they discovered that on their own, maybe because they see me and, kids see everything and hear everything. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I was just this just awe moment as a parent because they have a hard time falling asleep because their brains are active. It reminds me of me. And I have these techniques that I use to get to sleep. And I've used them for so long now that they just become a thing. But even when they were a baby, oh my goodness, they had a hard time falling asleep unless they were snuggling. So it was just this really beautiful thing that they came to on their own. They picked up their diary that they have, has a little lock and key, and just wrote out their day. And it was just a beautiful thing. I'm like, oh, this is a great tool for you. So anyways, I'm sharing this story with you today because it is a fabulous tool for any age. Young, old, in between, whatever you're going through, it can be that friend. And I actually told my daughter this. It's like if I'm not around to talk to at night and you have something weighing on your mind, or you just don't want to talk to me about it at the moment, or you don't want to share something with a friend and things like this, it can be like a friend where you put your troubles down on paper because we can hold emotions in our body. And then it actually, one, prevents us from sleeping and getting a good night's sleep. We can also just hold tension, anxiety. It can just come in so many different forms. And then we can actually get sick from it too if we hold on to things for too long. So I just think it's a really good tool. So it's like looking at it like your best friend. And you can, go dear diary, dear journal. You can name your journal, whatever feels right to you. Or you can even think of it as your future self, writing a love letter to your future self or to your younger self, your child. If you're doing work like that, the things I work with my clients and things, working on what happened in the past and really healing those wounds, you can do that in a journal. And I know I've mentioned it time and time again on this podcast as one of the tools, but I really wanted to give it the spotlight because it is a very simple yet very efficient tool. Now, I'm going to be completely open here. I try to be open every time. So anyways, but honestly, I don't write in it every day anymore. I used to try and sit down. And I think when my kids were babies and even before they were born, I'd have a little bit more of a consistency. The thing is, I use it when I need it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't need it every day. But what I'm trying to say is here, you don't have to be perfect. This is I'm really focusing on this, and it might come through a lot this year, is progress over perfection. And that's what I'm reminding myself through my own journeys of different things. It's about progress. So maybe I didn't show up on the mat the way I wanted to today, but it's progress. So it's just and it's same with showing up writing, journaling. So maybe you missed a day or two. Maybe you haven't journaled forever, but it was something you used to do. Maybe life got in the way. That's okay. It's progress. It's focusing on taking one step at a time. Just remembering that you have a journal, dusting it off. So some of the cool things or, things I love about journaling is, like I said, you get to take what you're feeling and put it on the paper. And one of the things when I was making it a consistent thing in my life, and maybe there'll be a challenge in the future. Maybe we'll do a challenge, a journal challenge. I don't know. It just came to me now. Anyway, so what I've done in the past is when I made it a consistent thing where I'm like, I'm going to show up every day, regardless of if I have anything to write or not. I remember going and writing down, because I'm a pen to paper kind of girl. I'm kind of old school that way. I have adapted to having an online calendar now for my business. However, I still use a paper one too to see. So anyways, that is how I just roll. Anyway, so I write out and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to say today. And then something usually comes. Like, so I'll take maybe a sentence or two saying, I have no idea. And then this and that. And then boom, it comes out. So there's something always lurking under the surface that we might not even be aware of. But putting pen to paper, or if you like to do an online journal, that's totally cool too. But just thinking and slowing down in that moment, be like, there isn't anything I want to share, might just spark something underneath the surface and it gets unburied. We're like onions, or I don't know. I don't love the idea of thinking that we're onions, but we peel back the layers. So just because on the outside, we might feel like we're content. We're very content, but there might be something, just festering, percolating under the surface that might need to be dealt with, or something that we've kind of ignored for years. And just putting pen to paper and slowing down and writing in our journal can really spark something within us. It's also a great place to put down your dreams. And then by putting those down, you can expand and go from a dream to a goal, right? You write down a whole pile of dreams, or maybe you just have one big one. And then within doing that, you can slowly take smaller steps to get to that. And that dream then becomes a goal instead of just a dream. It's amazing what can happen when you just write down things. I'm not going to say it's a magic wand, but I feel like it's pretty darn close. It's also a great way if you're having a bad day to just, I think it's Gabby Bernstein, I'm almost certain, that did like rage on the page. And I think it's a clever thing where you just write down things you don't like, that you're just angry about. And I think it's really good considering somebody that's had to I have to work on my anger. It's been a life discovery, a personal discovery and journey for me. It's one of the bigger emotions that I feel. And it's really coming to terms, and not even just to terms, but to an understanding of why. And it's writing down in a journal that really helps understand that. And then it's also just, you can even set your intention for the day. You can do gratitude. So ending it. So we have all these journals out there where it's like, gratitude journal or all these different kinds, right? Well, just having one beautiful journal that you have. I have one that is blue and it has beautiful golden, maybe I'll send a picture on social media actually. Golden pictures of sea life, and I just love it. Because I wanted something to feel good. And it actually was probably, $10, $15. Like, it wasn't a lot, but it makes me happy every time I look at it. And the thing is, I do love books. I love, love, love books. And I love, love, love journals. So I actually have a lot of books and journals. And the thing is, it can get overwhelming. So by having one journal and either naming it or just picturing it, a good old loving friend that you can rely on, that's there with you through, the good times, the bad times. And that can be where you put everything. You can journal in the morning or journal at night. You can do both, whatever feels right to you. I've always journaled at night because, like I mentioned with my oldest, I have a lot of things going on usually at the end of the day where I'm processing still. And so it's a great way to kind of mind dump or like just take all the information I have and just get it out. The other thing is I've used it in the morning too to set my intentions. So it's really whatever works best for you. That's really what it comes down to. What works best for you. But as, maybe you're starting some new habit, creating some new healthy habits or just starting a new routine, just think about journaling, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really, really easy and straightforward. I feel like, at least I'm speaking for me, I can overcomplicate things where it's like, yeah, I'll have a book for this and I'll have a book for this and I'll have a book for this. The thing is, realistically, is it going to all happen? Truth be told, probably not. But having one journal to write in, to communicate with. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have a ton of books, like I love books, so I'm not dissing the whole book thing because I love them and they look pretty and they're really amazing. But if they're working for you, then continue doing that. I'm talking to the people that may have all the books or don't know where to start because it feels overwhelming. It's really important then to just focus on having one book. Then if you want to have more later, expand. It's kind of like working out, right? At least for me, I always want to do everything all at once. Like I'm going to do, this much strength training and this much cardio and this much everything else, like walking and everything. And then I go from 0 to I want to go to 100. Well, if we try to go from 0 to 100 right out of the get-go, we're probably not going to stick with our new routine. But if we pick one thing and focus on doing that well, not perfect, but well, where we're showing up consistently or consistently-ish, where we feel good of where we're at, then you add on, right? Houses have foundations. We start with a firm foundation. I live on the coast in BC, and there are homes that are literally on rocks. But you still have to make sure that house is solid. There's the platforms that are on it are solid first, because the wind and the waves and everything, you want that solid. So it's picking one thing that you want to focus on and start doing that first. And that's still that's the same with building a journaling ritual or routine as well. Trying to do it all over the place might get a little messy and a little overwhelming, and then it just doesn't work out. And I'm saying this with so much love because I have personally been in that situation where I'm I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I remember every beginning of every year, I have a list of things I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it so well. It's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be great. And then it's so overwhelming, I don't even do anything. And this year I've actually done so differently. I made sure in the fall that I had a solid foundation. Nothing elaborate, just simple and really giving me what I need to start my day, to fuel my body, to energize my body, and to manage my stress. So then when I took a little break over the holidays and I came back, I wasn't trying to add anything new in. I was just cutting back into my routine. And then as I get back into my routine, I can add and tweak and change things. Because I love to overplan. I've learned over the years, though, that is just stressful, and I usually self-sabotage myself. Or maybe not self-sabotage, but I definitely make it unrealistic for me to reach, and then I give up. And then I don't do anything for a while. And then I'm oh man, and it's a pattern I've realized in myself. So maybe you don't have that struggle, but I know personally I have wanted to do too much too soon. So it's starting with one simple step and moving forward. And I really do feel that journaling, writing yourself notes, love notes, putting your emotions, your feelings, what you're going through on a page is really helpful. Do you have to show up consistently, daily? Heck no. It is beneficial if you do, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, I'm going to say it again. Progress over perfection. I do realize, though, that the more I have something scheduled or something that's consistently in my routine is something I consistently do. But again, it's starting to build up from the foundation, starting with one step at a time. Don't overwhelm the process. The first step is getting a journal and maybe a pen that you like to write with. And then go from there. Figure out what time in the day is best for you. Is it the nighttime? Is it the morning? Is it on your lunch break in a car? What works for you? Because what works for me might not work for you. We are all different and unique, and that's a beautiful, amazing thing. So as I give you these tips and tricks and cool things to do, and I share my personal story with this, remember that you take what will work for you or try something and then pivot and change it to what works for you. I hope that makes sense. And just remember that a journal can be your best friend. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need human life best friends too, but it's somebody that's always there. Maybe you can't call somebody up in the middle of the night, like 4:00 in the morning, and be like, help me. Or you're laying awake at night. Or say you even want to write down a dream, like you keep having the same dream, or you just had a really wacky dream and you wanted to take it down. This journal of yours can be for everything in your life. It doesn't just have to be about, self-love. And in fact, though, everything you write down does help you grow and build a deeper, loving relationship with yourself. Because as you write down things, you can see what patterns are coming up for you, what feelings, what emotions are coming up, what's bothering you, what's making you happy and excited about life. What are your dreams, your hopes, your desires for life? It all gets put down on those papers, those pages that are just for you. So I hope this helps. I hope this sparks some excitedness in you. And I'm going to dust off my own journal now that I've shared this and really get back into a little bit, I'm going to establish and figure out when that worked for me. Everything I just shared with you, I'm going to take some time and really figure out what works for me as well. Now, if you're on your self-love journey or you're just beginning, or maybe you've been on it for a while, I want to share with you something really cool that I've created, and it's called the Be You Community Room. It's a free forum that's on my website. It works kind of like Facebook or Instagram or Facebook, like a group, Facebook group really. However, it's on my website. So it's really just for people that have been coming into my community. And I want to grow this beautiful community of women that want to create a deeper, loving relationship with themselves and embrace who they truly are. So it's a safe place. So if you're just beginning to, starting your self-love journey, or maybe you just feel a little lost, or you've been on it for so long and you're like me and you didn't really feel like you had a place to call home, people that surround you and understand what you're doing, supporting you in a very supportive community, this is the place. It's a community room to really get to know yourself better, and a place that you can just be you. No putting on masks, no pretending to be somebody you're not, just showing up as you. And we're just starting out, so it's helping the community grow, and you get to really help shape and form that. So if you are interested in joining, the link is in the description of this podcast episode. And you can actually just go directly to my website, jodymisiak.com. And you'll find it right there on the top of the menu as well. And we would love to have you. And it just is going to help support and guide you. And then you can share your own personal struggles and challenges. Because the truth is, we all are unique and different. And at the same time, somebody else might be going through something similar as you, but they feel like they're alone on their own journey. So by sharing and encouraging each other, we can really grow and support one another on this journey, because we are not meant to go it alone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. I am so grateful for you, and I look forward to getting you to know you better, hopefully over in the community room, the BU community room. And please share the love. Please share this episode with other people that might want to know more about journaling and a supportive community. Thank you again for being here. Take care and have a beautiful day. Bye for now.